Let's be honest, dark romance is a vibe. It's the genre where the love interests are stabby, the relationships are intense, and the red flags are basically part of the decor. Hey book lovers, especially my morally gray gremlins. I'm Sam, and welcome to my corner of the dark and spicy book world. Today we're talking about dark romance, what it is, why we love it, and why my dark rating system is there to help you navigate the shadows. These books play with power dynamics, taboo themes, and morally complex characters. You're not here for the wholesome cinnamon rolls, they may be sprinkled in though, and you're here for morally gray men and women, dangerous obsessions, and love that's mostly toxic, but in the hottest way possible. Not all dark romance is created equal though. Some books are just a little spicy with dark vibes, while others go full-blown unhinged. That's why I created the dark ratings system, to give you a heads up on how dark a book really is beyond the author's trigger warnings. Because let's be honest, sometimes the trigger warnings don't give us the full scale of what's in store. Some are vague, some are spoiler heavy, and others just say things like, check trigger warnings, and then disappear. I wanted something that gave you a real sense of what kind of morally questionable chaos you're about to step into without ruining the plot. All right, let's break it down. Here's how my system works. It's a 1 to 5 scale, and each level gives you a better idea of what you're walking into. Dark level 1 is golden hour. This is where it starts. Just enough darkness to give it an edge, but not enough to wreck your soul. Think of this as your gateway drug into the morally gray. There's a little spice, a few light kinks, and maybe a dash of emotional damage, but nothing graphic or triggering. If there's a red flag, it's more of a blushy pink. This is where you flirt with the dark side without fully moving in.
Tell me about it, stud.
For example, spicy romance with light mafia or anti-hero elements, but low on actual darkness. Some of my favorite books in that genre are The Book of Azrael, Silent Vow, and Rook and Rebel. Now level 2, Sunset. The shadows are creeping up, but haven't fully taken over. These books dip a little deeper into the darkness. You'll find possessiveness, obsession, and the beginnings of dubcon. But it's not the main focus. It's usually in the character's backstory.
They'll see the humanity and our tragic backstory.
Maybe there's like a traumatic past, hints of mental health struggles, or a tragic childhood. But it's not really seen in the main plotline. Think stabby with a splash of sadness. This level gives us unhinged love interests who toe the line, like if you squint, they're still redeemable. If the book has stalker behavior that's romanticized, or some morally iffy decisions, it's probably level Sunset. It's not healthy, but it's hot. And some of my favorite examples are Lights Out, Nocticadia, the Plated Prisoner series, The Throne of Broken Gods, and Deceit. Level 3, Dusk. Now it's getting darker. At this level, the heavy stuff isn't just in the background, it's the main course. We're talking mental health, PTSD, blood, drugs, gore, prostitution, religious trauma, and darker kinks like primal play, stalking, bullying, or even somnophilia. You might see some taboo love like step-sibling or foster sibling relationships, no blood relation, and the love interest probably carries both a knife and unresolved trauma.
Sign me up and count me in.
These books are not here to coddle you. You will begin to question your sanity and love it. Getting heavier with dubcon, non-con, emotional manipulation, and murder are on the table. And yes, they're usually romanticized. If a morally gray villain is the main love interest, you're likely in Dusk territory. And some of my favorite examples are the Ruinous Love trilogy, the Slaycation series, Harlow Sanctum series, Leave Me Behind, the Mindfuck series, and these last few, they kind of toe the line into the Twilight Zone.
Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Which brings me to level 4, Twilight, and not that Twilight. This is where things go pretty damn dark. with maybe a single flicker of light if you look really, really closely. These books are full-on taboo and don't pretend otherwise. We're talking gunplay, knife play, consensual non-consent, SA discussed on page, cannibalism, yep, it's fully happening on the page, human sacrifice, kidnapping, breath play, necrophilia, grooming, branding, and slave roleplay. At this level, you're either bracing yourself or fully leaning in. Torture, psychological torment. Non-con, that's not just implied, but explicit. This is the line where dark romance and horror go hand in hand.
For your thoughts, Chief.
These books do not care about redemption arcs, and you are in too deep and you kind of really love it. This level is not for casual readers. You'll probably end up loving a character who literally buried someone alive. Don't worry, this is a safe and slightly deranged space for you to explore. Some of my favorite book examples are The Den of Vipers, The God of Malice, the whole Legacy of God series, The Cute Psycho, Black Sheep, Cute But Psycho, Graves, Court of Ravens, and some of these actually start to bridge into midnight territory.
Meet me at midnight.
Our final level, 5, Midnight, commonly known as Pitch Black. I just personally call it Midnight. This is the deep end, kids. It is pitch black in here, but we love it. No gods, no morals, just vibes. The books at this level are dark, dark. We're talking the kind of content that makes your Kindle whisper, "You good?"
This is it. This is my life now. You know, and I'm happy with that. I'm content.
Themes include rape, torture, spiders, yes, really, incest, sibling kink, no blood relation, but they call each other during spicy times, child abuse, sex trafficking, basically multiple pages of trigger warnings. This level is not for the faint of heart or casual reader. These books are full of taboos and transgressions, and they're not trying to redeem themselves. If you're reading this level, you already know you're built different. This is where the content warnings are a full essay and you start to question your own soul.
Well, things were almost okay, but now nit simich.
You may need a palate cleanser after this, and maybe a therapist, or even an exorcism. But some of my book examples for this level are the Cat and Mouse Duet, Little Stranger, and Edge of Darkness trilogy. This system isn't about judging, it's about informed reading. Dark romance is where we process heavy emotions through fiction. It's a genre of catharsis, twisted fantasy, and yeah, sometimes even healing. But not everyone wants to dive into the deep end. Not this deep end. And that's okay. We all have different limits, and this system helps you find yours before the book does. Knowing what kind of dark you're stepping into lets you choose the level of intensity you're in the mood for, and gives you space to honor your own boundaries. If you want more recommendations by level, I've got a whole Notion page website. I update it constantly with books I've read, rated, and sometimes felt a flicker of emotion for. Whether you want spicy serial killers with a side of humor or something that's absolutely going to wreck your psyche, I got you. So that's the world of dark romance, stabby, spicy, and mostly toxic. Let me know your favorite dark book in the comments, or tag me if you use my rating system. I also have a Morley Gray scale and monster tiers. Let me know in the comments if you want a video on those. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more Morley Gray madness, because plot twist, I am the villain. And I have to do an honorable mention to my tea, which is from Cliché Teas. This is their Heartbreaker tea. It's a spiced rooibos tea, which, if you didn't know, is technically a red tea, which I feel like goes with the whole topic. We've got lots of red flags. This is my red flag tea. Yes, we're gonna call it that. Any type of rooibos tea is going to be now called red flag tea. You're welcome. And that's the tea.